So, Grandma, tell me, when were you born?
July the 10th, 1916.
And that makes you how old?
94 and almost 95.
And tell us just a little bit about your parents.
About my parents. I lived with them for 10 years. My mother was a nurse. So when any of the neighbors or anybody at church got sick, they'd call mother. It was a little church in Clarksville, Pennsylvania. Then my dad, he wanted to farm. He worked in the mill when there was a steel mill, very hot, and sometimes he would get burnt. And that's how my mother and dad met. He was in the hospital and mother was the nurse.
What was his name?
And his name was DeLoss J. He didn't have a middle name, just an initial. And it's Feague. And mother's name was the same as mine, except her middle name was Marilla. And we always had enough to eat, big garden, canning and freezing was not in style. So they dried corn and then they would soak it like you would beans and then they boil it, some water, and we ate that as soup. Very tasty, and no one ever complained about being hungry. And depression came along in the last 10 years, but we didn't suffer from it because of the big gardens, and we had 2 cows and 2 horses. And there was always plenty of milk, not pasteurized, but we got along fine. And
What kind of things did you do to help around the farm?
well, not too much. When I was 9, my sisters left home to go to high school. And so mother informs me I'm old enough to do the dishes. Well, there was always 10 of everything, so it was a lot of dishes and pots and pans. So it was overwhelming to me, but I stood on a chair so that I could reach the cupboards and so on, and somehow I managed. And we made homemade soap to do the laundry. And in the wintertime, your hands would get chapped because we hung the clothes out on a line. And they would freeze, and you'd bring them inside, and they were like boards, and you laid them around. Pretty soon they were thawed. And the warmth of the kitchen, they would be dry by the time we'd go to bed, and we'd fold them up, put them away. My dad built